back after Thanksgiving. I'm Shanegotyou11, and with me as always is Trey.
Hey guys, how's it going? Hope you guys have had a good Thanksgiving. Let me know in the comment section and let me know in the chat if you guys had a good Thanksgiving. But we are back in business for the Coast Madden Podcast. So, random question for the chat. The first one is, how was your Thanksgiving? And the second one is, do you have any exciting plans for New Year's or Christmas? Just the holidays in general. What are your plans coming up? So, as always, when we start the West Coast Madden podcast, we like to look at the Thursday night game. And today's Thursday night game is going to be the Cowboys. The Cowboys versus the Bears. Honestly, the Cowboys are kind of on a downward spiral. I know people were saying that, the coach should be fired. They lost in Thanksgiving, so I honestly think I think the Cowboys are going to win. Shane, who do you have for this game?
Where's it at?
It is in Chicago.
I have Chicago winning then. I'm going to go with Chicago 23-13.
Do you always go for the home field advantage?
No.
Is that...
No, I'm actually going with Dallas struggles versus good defenses, and when they play teams that are 500, which I don't know what the Bears are. The Bears 6-6? I believe they're like 6-6.
Yeah,
they're 0-5. Dallas is versus teams with a even record or a winning record.
Yeah, the Cowboys are definitely struggling.
So no, I don't always go with the home team, but when I do, I drink Dos Equis. Joking.
That was a good inside joke. I like it. Definitely like it. So speaking of football topics, this is actually a topic that I would like to bring up. I think that it would definitely get an interesting response. So I want to say, I think it happened like a few weeks ago, but the Arena Football League closed down. And the Arena Football League was definitely a league that's been around for quite some time. I don't understand how it was able to survive as long as it did. But it recently just closed down, and now you have the reboot of the XFL coming up. And what I want to ask Shane is, Shane, we've seen the AAF come by, and they didn't do so good competing with the NFL. They closed down only after a few weeks of games. But do you believe that the XFL reboot could compete with the NFL? And did you like watching the AFL when it was around, or was it something that you didn't really care for too much?
The original XFL or the Arena Football League?
The Arena Football League.
I watched it. I believe they had the Spokane Shock in the Arena Football League, and they won a title. My father-in-law was season ticket holder, actually. It was all right, man. I didn't like the 50. I don't know. Like, I'm stuck in my ways, I guess, and I think that most people are. And to be honest, is the reason why I think college football is popular and NFL football is, the more popular of the two. But in general, while college football is even more popular than like the AFL or XFL, is for this simple reason right here. There's two reasons. One, we're all set in our ways. But number two, the biggest thing for me is okay, when you're watching college football, you realize that you're watching future pros. When you're watching the NFL, you're watching the best of the best. The AFL, not really.
Yeah.
The XFL, not really either. So, I mean, you have to be extreme diehard, and by like March, a lot of people are getting ready to do spring stuff, like if they're into sports, watch college March Madness. Baseball's coming around the corner. People are being outside. And to be honest, football is really a winter fall sport. I just think that's the difference. The XFL is owned by WWE, correct, Trey?
Yeah, its owner Vince McMahon. Um, it reopened, but now they're reopening up again, and they actually, like, you probably didn't get to see, but they released their uniforms, I believe, last week, and they had some pretty cool designs, I would say, for the uniforms. But yeah, they're gonna try to reboot,
Yeah, they have
and
the
I was
Seattle
like,
Dragons, right?
yeah, something like that. Yep. So, but what I
It'll be
wanted to ask you
interesting.
is, yeah. So it's going to be interesting. But do you believe in, because I was probably too young, so I don't remember a whole lot about the XFL. I did actually see a documentary about it. I believe it was like one of those 30 for 30
On ESPN, I
doc.
watched it too.
Yeah, the documentary that came out. But do you remember like watching it when it did came out? I believe it came out in like 2001, somewhere in there. And like what did you think about it when you initially saw it? And do you think that the reboot could have some success, or do you think that it's just gonna flop again?
I think it'll. Here's what I think. I think when I watched the first couple weeks, I believe, of the XFL, and it was decent. It wasn't bad. I mean, but the problem is they tried to mix WWE or WWF at the time
Yeah,
with the football. Like they brought, I believe, The Rock or Hulk Hogan on the field, and it's just like you gotta separate. You can't be the same thing. So I mean, if they avoid that and they pay people well, yes. But I just find it hard to believe. I think they'll fail after a year, maybe even less than that. I find it really hard. Like I gave you my two reasons. I believe number one is people are set in their ways. Fall and winter is football season for most of the world. Season or number two is people watching college. They know future pros are on that squad, or depends on the squad you like. And then the NFL, it's the best of the best.
yeah, yeah, and I definitely agree. I mean, I think that it could have some success because I feel like people are gonna watch because there's some people that like watching football, but I definitely think the professionalism of it definitely is important because no one really wants to see like AAA or AA baseball really. They want to see like the best of the best competing against. So it'll definitely be interesting to see who comes out of that one and if they're going to survive longer than they did the initial time. So
Well, here I'll give you another example. You've For people that aren't around the inland northwest, there's a team called the Spokane Chiefs.
hockey team, yep,
Yep, it's a WHL hockey team. Way back in the day, like when my parents were young kids,
yep,
they had the Spokane Chiefs, and they're old men. And by old men, I guess, not really old men. So I'll say between 30 and 35. And they loved it. My mom loved it because they watched grown men. But most people preferred to watch, prospects, future pro players. So then it
right,
became like a 16 to 20-year-old league. I go watch them. It's fun to watch because I'm watching future superstars, if that makes sense.
right,
So yes, I prefer, if I'm gonna go watch future players that are gonna be in the NBA, like watching players that are, I don't know, that aren't really good enough to be in the league. It might be entertaining, but it'll never happen like the NFL.
yeah. No, they're definitely not going to be able to compete with the NFL, but I think that there's going to be an audience for it. But it's like I wonder like I wonder if Vince McMahon knows that though. Like I wonder like because from what I heard, like I haven't watched wrestling in like a long time, but from what I've heard from that is that I guess they're not really doing well, but we shall. we shall see what's going on with that. So, but all right, let's talk about DC. There's been a few updates. For one, they had a thing that was an update to where if you drafted your team, usually what they did is that they updated it so where if you didn't like the team that you initially drafted, then you could redraft and then keep redrafting until you got the playbook that you enjoyed. So, but I don't know if they announced this on Twitter, but I logged into Mud Draft like last week, and then I find out that they just took it away randomly. So that was that. So, but overall, I like playing DC. I like the mode of it. I wish that they would update the player pool because it kind of I think it would be more exciting if like whenever the new cards come out in Ultimate Team that they would put in Mud Draft because I think that's what they do with FIFA, another game made by EA. They have the same kind of draft champions concept, but whenever a new card goes into the game, it goes into Mud Draft or their version of draft champions. So, but Shane, are you enjoying DC so far and overall? Like,
yo, you already know what I'm gonna do. You already know what I'm gonna get on. Trey and I talk enough that he knows my feelings. I love draft champs without abilities. I do. I love it. I think there's two main issues with it. They allowed reset in your draft until a bunch of pros got a great record, and now they stopped playing. And now for the rest of us, Trey, you can't reset the draft anymore. So now it's random like it should have been from the get-go. But now the top 30, top 40 are set because they played a bunch of games and reset their draft so they'd get their playbook and players and have a great record. And I think it's ludicrous that they allowed that to happen in the beginning. If you're going to take it away, then you should reset the whole leaderboard. If you're not going to take it away, you should have allowed it. I can't believe how EA has been run this year. I'm not like the other guys where they hate EA just to hate EA because that's a cool thing. But I feel like this year, like they're a little down. It was a little bit poor when you're trying to make Madden super popular, like a Fortnite or a NBA 2K or Halo or any of those top gaming places. But number two, I have been booted more times than I ever have in my Madden career. And it's not my internet. It's nothing but people knowing how to boot people. And all they do is they set up a mobile hotspot. They have somebody call them when they have a game connected. And then they boot the opponent. I have, what did I tell you, Trey? 18 losses from boots from people kicking me out?
Yeah.
That removes me from the top 100 so many times, and it's ridiculous. And yes, 3 times this year, my internet either went out or I played at 2 a.m. when they do the reset. So that's on me. So 2 of them are from my internet all year. So that's on me. I don't have any bad feelings about it. But come on, man. When you got people making new accounts, new PSNs just to boot you, to screw with your records, and the EA can't stop that, that is bad. That is bad business when they're making $6 billion in revenue.
Yeah. So definitely, I would like to see some prayer emojis in the chat because Shane has definitely had some bad luck with disconnects. I think it happens like once you get to a high enough level, but. Or maybe Shane's just just unlucky in general, but I haven't really seen it that well. But it's definitely in the game. And we were talking about this before, and you said that in salary cap it would only happen like once or twice, but in this particular mode it happens way more often you know.
Well, that's what Chaos and I were talking about, and I think MP Pinter, he's a pro. They were talking about they've gotten so many losses from disconnects in DC, and I guess it was even happening in them in salary cap. So you know what, Trey? Maybe I was lucky in salary cap,
Yeah.
and maybe it's just bad luck in draft champs. I'm just like, it's definitely frustrating because you get to the top. Top 60, top 70, and then I started getting booted, and that's the way it goes. But you got to fight. You either quit or you keep fighting. And I mean, people that know me know who I am, and that I'm gonna keep fighting.
Gotta keep pushing on through. So yeah. So overall, I would say Draft Champions is going pretty good. The only thing that I would like to see added is if they would update the player pool. Not like, I mean, hell, even because there's only like 93 to 94 overall cards. So I mean, why not? You know what I'm saying? Like, put those into Draft Champions. But so shout out to all my mutt heads that tune into the stream, because there's been some good promos going on. We had the Harvest promo came out during Thanksgiving, I believe. NFL 100 promo came out, and that was two pretty good promos. And more recently, they came out with the Blitz promo. I actually went and I got their uniforms. I got their home uniforms. I think their home uniforms are looking pretty solid. I like them a lot. And they got the new 94 overall CJ2K, the fastest running back in the NFL at one particular time, because he doesn't play anymore. But no, I think his card is pretty awesome. So yeah, definitely some good cards being dropped into Ultimate Team. So, and there's a new Kyle Juszczyk and a limited time Brandon Carr signature players. So go rip packs, and maybe you'll pull limited time. Shane, have you ever received like a limited time like card in a pack opening? I pulled one time back in Madden 17. I pulled 99 overall Herman Moore, and he went for like 1.2 mil. But what was the highest overall card that you ever pulled
out of a pack?
Yeah,
I think like a 93. But I think that was last year. I've never had a 99 pull. Never, bro. Never.
Alright, so yeah, let's go ahead and talk about, so as we were talking right now, we have the finals for the Pittsburgh Steelers Club Series, and it's between Deliverance and Joel CP. Deliverance, the guy that's won the club championship back-to-back, definitely, I would say for me, I don't know what the score is right now, but I would say that the favorite for me is definitely going to be Deliverance. Joe, obviously, I mean, he labs with like Young Kip, some of the best players in the community, but I feel good about Deliverance coming away with this one. So that's what we got there. But let's do a quick.
It's 7-Up. It's 7-Up, just so you know.
7-Up from
the Pittsburgh Championship.
Okay.
Joel and Deliverance.
Oh, but you said someone scored 7 already.
It's 7-7. 7-Up.
Oh, so it's tied up. Okay, got
it. Yeah, my bad. So. I thought you knew what I meant.
7-Up. All right, so the club series that's been going on. I like the Buccaneers Club Championship. I believe that happened. I want to say like last week, but we had a guy named Silva won, and it was pretty interesting to see Silva there, because Silva was kind of, not your traditional Madden player. He was kind of like more country. He was listening to like Luke Bryan and some of that. So it was definitely, I like seeing the like the different kind of personalities that these Madden tournaments bring you. I think that's definitely a cool thing. So, but there, of course, you can't really go through a club championship without having some drama. and I'm pretty sure you guys know what I'm talking about, but we're gonna like touch on and give us our opinions on it. But for the Atlanta Falcons, you had Bugs, who's a veteran, and he ended up facing, I believe his name is DJ, CJ, somewhere. Sorry that if I butchered your name, but so he was up. It was the last drive of the game, and and this was the kid's first game on the big stage. So I want everyone to just close your eyes and just picture that you're on the big stage. You're playing to represent the Atlanta Falcons in the round of 32 of the club championship series. You're driving down, and you're in field goal range. So all you have to do is kneel the ball out, kick the game-winning field goal, and then boom. But apparently the MCS is ran by people that don't understand the game at all. I believe I heard somewhere that Matt Marcoux, the MCS director, got fired from League of Legends. There was some kind of controversy with him in League of Legends. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what I heard from somebody. But I guess it's a rule that you can't kick, you can't avoid the ice. Well, Books had no timeouts left, so he couldn't ice them. So he ran another play, kicked the field goal, and of course, obviously when you call a timeout yourself and your opponent has no timeouts, then you're not going to be kicking with ice. So they have all this controversy going on, and at that point, you're not even really worried about the game so much anymore. You're just like, your mind's all over the place, so you're just like all flustered and that, and of course, when it finally came to, they figured out, okay, there's nothing they can do that they're just gonna play on because you can't put ice in the game unless you just went all the way back and reset the game. So he goes to kick his game-winning field goal, and it gets blocked. Not only did he get blocked, but it got returned by Boogs, and that's how Boogs won the club championship series. So, I mean, for me, I think it's kind of funny. Definitely kind of a tragic situation that happened. I don't agree with block kicks in general. I mean, this might be an unpopular opinion, but I think that if someone's kicking a field goal, that whoever's playing them should just put their controller down. I just don't like block kicks, but that's just my opinion. But Shane, do you have, or in general, do you have any? We've seen Problem have some drama going in, but what's your overall thought about the drama that's going on at these live events? Because
I think personally, people just have problems with whatever doesn't work out for them. Like I know you don't like field goal blocking, but field goal blocking doesn't bug me at all. If you kick a perfect kick, you're not going to get back, or you're not going to get blocked. I mean, so kick a perfect kick and you're fine. But because I know what you're talking about. Like Kiv got mad because he got his field goal blocked, but I think it was a couple years ago.
Right.
But it's like if you do a perfect kick, you're not going to get blocked. So do a perfect kick and you're good. Like, I mean, how's that any worse than somebody spamming 1-4-6 or 3-4 pinch all game? There's not much difference. So to me, it is what it is. I know Problem was trying to get some favors in his hand because people know who he is, but it is what it is, and it's unfortunate. Like, the disconnects really suck for me. But you know what? Who's going to have sympathy for me? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Nobody has sympathy. You just got to do it. What was that T-shirt that said? I think it was an NFL player. I think it was Baltimore. It says, "Nobody cares. Keep working."
Right.
Because in the end, bro, do you think anybody really cares? Except your close crew and close family. Like, nobody cares that I'm getting booted, but like our people in here and you and like other crew members. But do you think Joel is like, hey, I feel bad for Shanegotyou11 that he's got booted so much? No.
Nope, not really.
So you just got to handle business. So that shirt, man, I want to buy it, but I don't want to represent Baltimore. It's all about the Seahawks.
Yeah, I definitely don't want to represent the Seahawks because, I mean, which is kind of a shame because I feel like Russell Wilson is playing pretty good this year, but I feel like he's almost being, which, I mean, to be fair, Lamar Jackson's a stud. Like, I'm not going to deny that, but I mean, Russell Wilson's definitely playing pretty well for you guys this year, so he should definitely be in consideration, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard. They almost like it's all pick and choose. It's all who I think it's going to be who finishes with the better record.
Yeah.
That's who I think. I think it's all going to be about who has a better record and who looks better down the stretch. So there's how many games left? 4. So if they both end up 14-2, let's just say, it's going to be whoever had the better stats. But let's say Baltimore ends up 13-3, Seahawks end up 12-4. You know who's going to get it.
Right. And I think Patrick Mahomes won it last year, right?
Yeah, Russ is just a steady guy. He's not the new milk. He's not the new jam. Not the new pop. He just is steady, so eventually people get bored of it. Like, oh, same old. It's kind of like Brady. Most people don't like Brady because it's the same old. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I know he's won MVPs, don't get me wrong. I'm just saying, like, you don't Patrick Mahomes or Andrew Luck. Andrew Luck was going to be the new Jesus. Unfortunately for him, he got hurt. He was good when he was healthy, and then they went to the new guy. Then the next guy was Patrick Mahomes. Then it's Lamar Jackson. Next year it's going to be somebody else. That's how I think. Unless they keep handling biz, and Lamar is good. Lamar is very good, but more so as a runner than a passer. And I know people are going to be like, wait, he has so many touchdowns. He does. But he does a lot of slant plays and read option plays where he throws a quick slant or quick drag for a touchdown. I'll be interested, just like all the people that were on Sean McVay's cojones last year. I was trying to picture a good word to say it.
Yeah.
Cojones last year. Now where are they? They're 7-5 and fighting for the 6th seed. But he was supposed to be the next god. He was revamping the NFL, but then, I'm going to throw in my Seahawks or even Bill Belichick. You got Bill Belichick and Pete Carroll, and they're not very exciting, right? They're the same old, but who has a better record? So I want to see Lamar Jackson in a few years. In a few years he keeps doing this, props, because I don't have anybody that's problem with anyone who's doing good. But yeah, I don't even know what the hell the question was to start with, Trey. I just went on a tangent and you laughed. Go on.
Yeah, no, I mean it's good. I think the original question was we were talking about I don't remember how, but it happens. Like you get talking about one subject and then all of a sudden you're it's kind of, that's what happens with YouTube. That's what happens with YouTube a lot. It's like 1 minute you're watching like Barry Sanders highlights or whatever, and then the next minute you end up in a video about the Illuminati and all this other.
Yeah, it's like you get down the YouTube rabbit hole, and I went down the Shane rabbit hole. I don't even know what the question was to begin with, to be honest. So about Lamar, right? MVP.
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. We were talking about something else, and then I think one of us brought up Lamar Jackson, and I was like, because I think people were saying like, Russ, might be in the race, but I mean, and I think it matters too, like what market you play in, because Seattle's kind of small market, so not really too many people know outside of, so it's part of it is political too, so.
Definitely.
Yeah.
But like, man, y'all know me long enough that Trey especially. Trey will know that I'm going to go off on random topics that I have no idea what I'm doing. Okay, I'm just going to interject for the chat. Trey, can you answer this for me? 4th and 12, okay?
Yeah.
You're your own 20-yard line. You're up 14-10 in the third quarter. Do you punt or go for it?
So I'm up 14-10, and it's in the third quarter.
Yep, you're up
And it's
14-10, third quarter. Your defense has been shutting the guy down mainly. You've given up 10 points. One was on fluke. Do you punt or do you go for it?
And did you say that it was 4th and 12?
4th and 12 at your own 20.
Right. I mean, I would probably punt. I would say I would probably punt, but I think it also depends on how confident I am on offense because of course there's games where you feel like, oh, no, I don't think you can stop me. I feel like I have a play that's gonna get open, but sometimes it's you don't feel like that you have a play that's gonna beat your opponent. So there's all those variations, but I think generally speaking, if I feel good on defense and I'm up by 4 in the third, then I would probably punt. If I'm near midfield or past the 50-yard line, then that's different. But if I'm backed up pretty far, then I would probably punt.
Okay, so the chat says they'd punt. I definitely punt because I have faith in my user and defense. So Joel in the Pittsburgh Club Championship, he's up 14-10, and he went for it. He got sacked back at his 16-yard line. The very next play, Deliverance scores a touchdown. He couldn't run on Joel really at all. Well, right after that, he gets a touchdown. Now it's 17-14 Deliverance because Joel went for it. And now all of a sudden Joel's getting sacked left and right, and it's 4th and 22 on his next possession. You see how the game changed?
Yeah, the momentum is dead. Oh, okay, and that's actually a really good point. That's actually a really good point that I kind of want to talk about because you mentioned because we all know that momentum shifts are absolutely crazy in this game, and the momentum shift is I feel like it's even more when you're at a live event, because the momentum is it's more powerful when you're high stakes are at the line. So if you think about it from a momentum standpoint, if you punt the ball, it's you're giving them a little bit of momentum, but it's still kind of neutral. But if you go for it and you don't get it and you get sacked, then the momentum completely shifts over to the other direction.
Well, I would have punted. He wasn't running on you really at all. Yeah. He couldn't do anything. And now, bro, here I'm gonna give it. It is now 17-14. Deliverance. Since that possession, right? Since he went on it, since he went for it, and it was 14-10, he got sacked. Deliverance gets the ball at the 17. One play, touchdown, 17-14 Deliverance. Next possession, Joel gets sacked not once, Trey, not twice, but 3 times. Now Joel punts. Next play, Deliverance runs for a 35-yard run. Now it's the end of 3, 17-14 Deliverance. And Deliverance is at the 3-yard line. And not only that, there's 47 seconds left. Joel was chewing clock to start the game. I guess from what the chat was saying, talk crap how Deliverance was going to lose because he didn't have good enough offense.
Right.
So I'm just adding what's going on because I'm watching this right now and letting the people know.
It's live as we speak, so and that's another thing because I feel like when I play Madden, I'm more like Shane, play conservative, have trust in your defense. But there is times I feel like the scenario that I get really aggressive on is if those situations where you're up 3 points or you're up by a touchdown, and it's within 2 minutes left, so you just need to get a first down to ice the game away. I feel like a lot of the times that instead of giving the ball back to my opponent, because my thing is okay, I just want to end this game right now. I'm gonna play a little bit aggressive, not too aggressive, but I'm gonna try to play a little bit of aggressive so that I can just get the dub and walk out the gym. So I feel like those are some of the scenarios that I'm more aggressive on. But Shane, would you say that you're probably more conservative when it comes to those type of things, like as far as going for it on fourth down and?
It all depends on what the score and the time is.
Yeah.
Like for me, if the game is 6-3 me, right?
Yeah.
I'm punting no matter what.
Right.
It is now 24-14. Sorry to interrupt. Joel just threw himself on the ground and let him get a touchdown.
Okay, so what quarter is it?
Fourth quarter. Joel's falling apart, man. If Joel comes back and wins this, I'll give him the utmost props. But he is just like, I will give him props. But when you have him locked up and you switch up and fall down, and then let the guy, and then try to switch up again and run for the touchdown, it is crazy. That is nuts. But yes, it depends. There's times that I go for it on fourth downs. Actually, there's actually a few times that I'll go down for it on fourth down in my own 30-yard line if I'm feeling froggy, because I might leap, son. I might jump. Yo, I got a story for you guys. I know I'm going off topic, but I was at the Gonzaga basketball game probably 5-6 years ago, right? We're going outside, and this guy's probably about 10 years older than my brother and I, and he bumps into us, and my brother says dang. He could have said, excuse me. Yeah. The guy looks at him and goes, "You feeling froggy?" Well, then jump. Oh, man. I laughed so hard, bro. My brother and I just laughed because it was so. I mean, the guy's older, for one. But two, he really said, "You feeling froggy?" And all it reminded me of, "Are you feeling lucky? Huh, punk?" Okay, anyways, my bad.
It's like one of those scenarios where you have to be there. You know what I mean? It's because there's some situations that are funny, but it's you had to be there to know if it's funny or not.
Oh, you would have laughed so hard, bro, if you're there. You would have definitely laughed. That was hilarious, man. That was definitely hilarious.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, we got the club series going on, but let's take a look at what we have so far in terms of club championship winners. So here are the players that's going to be representing the AFC East. So you have the Jets, AKGs representing the Jets, and you have Z Thumps for the Dolphins, and we have Stevie J. Hashtag more pitch from 2 years ago. He's representing the Bills. And then you have Skimbo for the Patriots. For the AFC South, we have the Texans is represented by Mills. And for the Titans, we have Kretobin. The Jaguars, we have Drini. And for the Colts, we have Lil Man. The Raiders, we have Pavon. The Chargers have Madden Elite. The Broncos have Turbo Jeff. And for the NFC East, we have Eagles are Henry. The Giants have Evil D, and the Redskins have Techers. The NFC West, we have D-Croft, and the Trey Kings is the 49ers. We have Volterash for the Cards. The Rams have Beast Mode Mac. The NFC South, we have the Saints. They're represented by Nick Hacko. The Panthers have one great user. The Bucks have Civil, and the Falcons have Bugs. And NFC North, we have, which is the games that just happened. We have Scheeman as your Packers club. The Lions have Radiant. The Bears have BG Fan, who I believe is another streamer. And the Browns have Joke. So I'm pretty excited. I believe it's going to be next week is when we're going to find out who's all going to be involved in the round of 32. So we'll be able to get on here and go through our predictions, who we think is going to win each division, and go and from there. But I'm going to tell you right now, and my bold prediction is that I think that AKG or Stevie J is going to come out of the AFC East. I think Skimbo gets eliminated for from the AFC East. But Shane, do you have any kind of, I guess, not to spoil who you have winning the whole thing, but do you have any I guess any early bold predictions that you'd like to throw out there?
I'm trying to figure it out. We're gonna go over the bracket, me and you, before we go on air when we do it, because I believe they're all done after today, right? And then it'll be the 32.
Yeah.
Oh, there's one tomorrow. There's one tomorrow.
Yeah, there's one tomorrow, but I think after that we'll have the full bracket.
Yeah, so on next Thursday, you guys, we will have the bracket released. We'll talk about the bracket. I definitely think that there is going to be I think Skimbo's going to make the Final Four. I really do.
Oh, you do?
Yep. But I'm not sure about who's winning. I'm going to have to go over the bracket again.
Yeah. I just think because I mean, for the AFC East, I think AKG, he knows what Skimbo but a lot of people don't know, but Stevie J, I think it was Madden 18 when they had the Ultimate League, and granted, the game's different now, but I think Stevie J has Skimbo's number, overall. It might have been a different game back then, but I think because he beat Skimbo pretty bad, back in Madden 18 Ultimate League, so that's kind of what my bold prediction is. So definitely looking forward to that coming around the corner. We got a little predictions going on, and
I know Joel won't be in it. oh man, that made me laugh. Joel got his butt whooped. He didn't even shake his hand.
Okay. So since he didn't shake his hand, I feel like that's a great.
I believe he didn't shake his hand unless I moved and I didn't see it.
Yeah.
But I don't think he shook his hand.
That could be. I mean, he probably could have just missed it. But since we're on the subject, I mean, we've seen. I think it was Young Kiv. With D Jones, he was like, "You fucking suck." Oh, excuse my language. He was like, you freaking suck, D Jones, and then he didn't shake his hand, and then he got all salty, and I think it was True Boy and Dubby had a bit of a rivalry going on, and more recently it was actually Serious Mo who played Beast Mode Mac. He didn't shake his hand, but Shane, how do you feel about handshakes? Do you think that even though that you don't like your opponent and that you're not there's a rivalry going on, do you still think that you should still shake hands after the game, or
depends on what they've said to me. Depends on what they've said. If you keep it about the game, like you say, I'm trash, I'm garbage, I suck, I shouldn't play Madden, yeah, for sure I'll shake your hand. You get personal where you say you're gonna knock me out, and hell no, no friendship there. That's crossing the line. But I'm not gonna say I don't think he shook Deliverance's hands. I didn't see the game with the sound on, so I don't know if Deliverance crossed the line. I do know from all the chat and everything everyone's saying that Joel was the one who started the capping, started the one being rude. So I mean, you get what you get, but like I said, I'm gonna say it right now, Joel's a front runner. And I'm not hating on the dude. It's whatever. He made a live event, whoop-de-whoop. I don't think Pittsburgh Club is that hard. I don't think it's ever been that hard. I think it's got two people that are good in Deliverance, and then, sort of Joel. I mean, I'm not trying to hate or anything, but he's a front runner. And a front runner to me, he runs his gums when he's winning, but damn did he go quiet when everything started falling apart for him. To me, if you're going to cap, bro, you're going to cap when it's 17-14 and you're losing. Not when you're up 7-0.
Yeah, so it's definitely, and I think part of it too is if someone's I feel like for me, if someone's trying to get in my head or talking trash, and then you don't end up shaking their hand at the end of the game, it almost doesn't give you closure in a way. It almost at least if you shake your hands and then you're just like whatever, it's I'm not really fazed by it. Then it's like you're not really, you didn't really give in too much, and you're not as salty. Even I would say like even if I don't like the person that I'm playing, I probably would just shake their hand and just so that way it's like I'm not letting them control like what I
control your emotions. Yeah, I feel that, man. I'll shake anyone's hands, like, just as long as you don't make it super personal, is I guess what I'm saying.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so I mean, this is usually the part. So this is the part of the podcast. This is going to be a real quick breakdown. So for anyone that's new here, like every year we like to go back and go back in history, look at some of the old Maddens. This year games though was very special because last week it was Madden 2006, but this time we're looking at Madden 2007. Definitely one of the first games that I remember playing. I believe this was like the first game that was like for the Xbox 360 for like the new generation, like Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3. Kind of crazy how we're almost moving. We went from PS3 and now we're about to move from PlayStation 4 and Xbox One to the new generation next year. So, but the cover athlete was Sean Alexander. Shane, like what kind of? I mean, I've seen him play. I think I've seen him play in Super Bowl 40 when they played the Steelers. But what kind of running back was Sean Alexander was back when he did play? Like, would you say that he was kind of similar to Marshawn Lynch, or was he like a completely different?
Nah, hell no, heck no. Not. I mean, it's really hard because he had left tackle and Walter Jones, which is a Hall of Famer. He had left guard Steve Hutchinson, Hall of Famer. So you're going against you have two Hall of Famers, right? And so you have huge holes. Inside the 20s, I feel like he was kind of soft for a running back. He was finesse. He'd fall down easy. But inside the red zone, yeah, he was like beast mode. He'd run you over. But he was a very good player that, in my opinion, was helped by, two Hall of Famers on the left side. A good running back, above average running back for sure. Just not my kind of guy that, like, you get tackled, you'd lay down. But then inside the 20s, you'd bash. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, so that's the cover athlete, and I like to like look back at what was popular, like what kind of movies were popular back then, and Shane and I talk about this movie quite a bit, but it's like one of my more favorite movies. But Superbad came out during this year, so that was like one of my favorite movies. I definitely like McLovin, the whole fake ID thing. The funniest scene in that movie to me was like when they're at the bar, and the cops were talking to him, and he was like, and the radio came on, and the radio was like, "Help! There's so much blood," and then he just turns it off and then continues the conversation.
Yo, that bro is one of the funniest movies of all time, bro. Chicka, 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 yeah. You look like Aladdin. I love that movie. That movie was so great. It was a classic, bro.
Yeah. All right, so I'm gonna quickly go over the ratings really quick, but one thing that I will say is that that's kind of way different now, because sometimes I would look back and see they have footage from like way back in 2006. People would they would play Madden online, and of course they didn't have Ultimate Team back then, so it would just be like ranked. But it's kind of interesting looking back to how it was now compared to then, because back then, like, back then there was like the lobbies, which the lobbies is basically the 2020 version of Gamer Saloon, where you have like lobbies that you can chat and everyone's just, like talking trash about people and this, that, and the third. So definitely kind of an interesting time back then. The first Madden that I played was actually '09, and they had the whole lobby thing going on. And what a lot of people don't know is like back then, like if you played online and your opponent like quit out the game, that it would actually make you keep playing the computer. Like it wouldn't just end the game. Like you'd still have to finish the game with the computer. So.
I definitely remember the lobbies, man.
Oh, you remember the lobbies?
Yeah, they're all the way until like Madden 16, I believe.
Yeah. All right, so for the 99 overall club this year, we have Peyton Manning was a 99 overall. Lorenzo Neal for the Chargers, he was a fullback. Antonio Gates, Walter Jones, who we were just talking about for the Seahawks. Ed Reed, Champ Bailey, and Shane Leckler. All right, so for the AFC North rosters, we have the Pittsburgh Steelers were a 96 overall. The Cincinnati Bengals were a 94. The Baltimore Ravens were an 89. The Browns were an 81. The Patriots were 93. The Miami Dolphins were 90. The Buffalo Bills were 79. The New York Jets were 77. The Indianapolis Colts were 97. The Jags were an 85. The Tennessee Titans were 76. The Texans were 75. The Denver Broncos were 92 overall, and the Kansas City Chiefs were an 89. The Chargers were an 89, and the Raiders were 74. And the Bears were an 88. The Minnesota Vikings were an 83. The Green Bay Packers were an 83. The Detroit Lions were 77. The Dallas Cowboys were 91. The New York Giants were an 88. The Redskins were an 88. And the Eagles were an 87. The Panthers were an 95. The Falcons were an 91. The Tampa Bay Bucks were an 89. The New Orleans Saints were a 78. The Seahawks were a 96. Arizona Cardinals were an 89. The Rams were an 86. The Niners were a 73. So with all that being said, and also, by the way, I know that I think it was like a few years ago, I looked at the tournaments they had back then, and this was actually the first game of the TV show Madden Nation, and Shane and I were actually just talking about that, like in our party not too long ago. But that was definitely a show that was on, and for season 1, why am I drawing a blank on who won season? I think Sherm, the guy that represented the Cincinnati Bengals, he won the first season of Madden Nation, but it was definitely a different show. And I think the difference is like back then you had like more characters, whereas now like you don't really have too many characters. People, they just play the game and that's what's up. But maybe that's a topic for another week. Is like if there was a season 5 of Madden Nation, like who would we want to see like on the show? Because I feel like there's like so many different characters that it would make for a good show. So
definitely, but honestly, the trash talkers would make the game interesting. So a guy like a Joel would be funny, but
or Siwoo.
Yeah, Siwoo, but I don't think Siwoo's good enough. Is the only problem.
Yeah, he's entertaining though, but and then of course you would have to have you'd have to put like the YouTubers like your boy Pizzas, maybe TD Barrett in there, but I think overall it would make for an interesting show. But anyway, with all that being said, this has been the West Coast Madden Podcast. Unless Shane, do you have anything you'd like to say before we sign off for the week?
All I want to know is what's your favorite donut. That's it. I got maple bar for me.
Maple bars are pretty good. I haven't really tasted because I do remember like this was back when I was in kind of over by Yakima when I was going through that trade school, but they had a Krispy Kreme, and I had that and that was pretty good. But now that I'm back where I live, you don't have any like fancy donut places. But have you been to like Krispy Kreme and like stuff like that? They
Bro,
have those in Spokane.
my wife
Right?
loves it, dog. My wife loves it like that. She'd go there all the time if she could. Yeah. I mean, honestly, I'm not a huge sweet person. But, like, if I had my choice, it'd be like a brownie or a chocolate chip cookie. That would be me.
Yeah, I mean, my favorite like I could like Oreos and milk. Like that's probably my favorite like unhealthy snack for me is Oreos and milk. So
Yeah, I do like Oreos too.
yeah.
But all right, you guys. To everybody that joined us, had fun stuff. You know what, Nicholas? I've never heard of the House of Donuts. Have you, Trey?
The House of Donuts. No, it might be somewhere local.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I haven't heard of that, Nicholas. But it sounds good. I mean, it sounds like a house full of donuts.
Yeah, we were talking about a few podcasts back. I asked, like what everyone's favorite pizza restaurant was, and I was talking about Papa Murphy's because that was like a local one that I think me and you probably relate to. But I mean, and there probably is some like good pizza restaurants that aren't like Pizza Hut or the ones that
Oh man,
everyone has.
Adele's has really good local pizza here, Trey. If you ever were in town, bro, I'd have to take you there. You'd love it, and I mean love it. It was one of the best. Oh man, it makes me. I'm so hungry right now, you guys. I'm sorry. I worked out so hard today, and I'm so hungry. Nicholas, yeah, but you're on the west side of the state though, because Nicholas is from I can't remember where. Not Bellingham. Lakewood? Nicholas, where are you from again, bro? Yeah, Lakewood. Okay, Lakewood. Yeah, see, so yeah, we don't have it over here, bro. We don't. I've never heard of House of Donuts over here. But yeah, Nicholas, you, Trey, and I will definitely have to get in a party chat together and do Madden against each other. We can all do that soon, and I can stream. We can do it soon though. I promise you. All three of us can party up, play each other, have some fun. But yeah, before Christmas time for sure. I'm just super busy during the Madden season. Trey knows this. Trey's busy too right now with Madden, but definitely will. You can always send him. I'm pretty sure you're okay with this, right, Trey?
Yeah, go
him
for
getting
it.
your okay.
Yeah, it's Trey is raw, Tray is raw. Then AF at the end is my PSN if you wanna hit me up, and then we could play together. So
yes, we can do. So Nicholas, so definitely do that. Trey and I stay up late, so I mean we definitely can do it. We will definitely be doing it before Christmas. We can get as many people in the party chat as we want. I'll just stream and we can all play. Yeah, I'll text it to you, Nicholas. All right, man. So this is West Coast Madden Podcast. I appreciate everybody being in here, like Nicholas, like Dave, like the other people that are just lurking. I appreciate it. I'm Shanegotyou11 as always, and with me was Trey. We'll see you guys on the 12th of December, 12/12/19, the last one of the decade. Hey, Little Red, we're just getting off. How are you, young lady? I got it right, Little Red. What's that?
yeah, Lil Red is usually in the chat, but I guess he's late to the party for this week.
Just so you know, Trey, it's a female.
Is it really?
Yeah, she is a female, and she plays Madden, so she's cool in my books.
So is she like Country Girl, but cooler than Country Girl, or do you know who that is?
I don't know who Country Girl is.
Oh. It's like her and like Mr. Golden Sports are like I guess the Madden power couple now, but.
Okay, no, I got Little Red. I guess she'd be making dudes cry, man. No, she said she's not that good. She just likes to be on YouTube and have fun, which I mean that's all we're supposed to be doing, right? We're all having fun. We're all conversating, and then we root for each other to win. But anyways, you guys, This podcast is ending. I will talk to you guys next time.